afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to welcome you to King David's Lodge number 209 for an accepted Mason's 154th installation of officers. I have served this last year as master, and it has been one of my greatest privileges, not just to be master here, but also just to be a member, being an officer, and being friends to our brethren. My year, I think that being a past master definitely helped. It was a lot more smooth than my first year. I've gotten older and hopefully wiser, if not at least more humble. And I think that at least I fulfilled the agenda and the vision that I had for the year. One of my pillars of vision was family, and I was very happy that Robert decided to exemplify our Scottish heritage of not only for me personally, but for Freemasonry. The oldest Masons were from Scotland, and so we have many exemplars of our Masonic tartan. I myself am wearing my clan, my family's tartan, Mackay. So most people know me about ancient Egypt. I'm also Scottish in a great amount. So I would like to first welcome then our installing team, our installing musician, Jeanette Langer from the Order of the Eastern Star. Installing chaplain, Worshipful David L. Chesbrough. Our Master of Ceremonies, Worshipful Christian G. Morano, also the Grand Standard Bearer of the Grand Lodge of California. And last but certainly not least, our installing officer, Worshipful and past Grand Master, Russell E. Charbonia.
I know where you're going so quickly, Worshipful. Before you head off into the sunset, I just want to take a moment to congratulate you on what I think has been a very fruitful year in the history of King David's Lodge. And it's no doubt because of your wisdom and your insight and your vision. I really appreciate how you've kept with the traditions of this lodge while introducing some new ideas. Yes, the second time around does make it a bit easier. But I especially appreciate how you contributed to your own family to improve our lodge, our Masonic family. So, as you head off, not so far into the sunset, just take a moment to bask in the knowledge of a job well done.
Thank you.
Brother Master of Ceremonies, are the officers of this lodge lately chosen present and ready to be installed in their respective offices?
They are without, most worshipful sir, and await your pleasure.
You will then conduct them to seats prepared for them.
Honor guard, fall in. Form lines. Present swords.
institution. It is our duty before entering upon any great or important undertaking to invoke the aid and blessing of God. Let us therefore reverently unite with our chaplain in an address to the throne of grace.
Great architect and ruler of the universe, we reverently invoke thy blessing at this time. Grant us thine aid in our present undertaking, that all we may do shall be done with an eye single to thy service and to the good of Freemasonry. May those who are now about to be invested with the government and conduct of this lodge be endued with the wisdom to instruct their brethren in their duties, and may they be continually guided by the unerring counsel which thou hast given in the great book of nature and revelation. May brotherly love, relief, and truth always prevail among the members of this lodge. May they be impressed with a comprehension of their duty to thee and to each other, that this lodge may be the means of lasting good in this community, and to thee we shall ascribe all the honor and glory. Amen.
So may it be. The flag of our nation will now be presented by King Solomon Chapter, Order of the Beam Elect. Kindly repeat with me the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will post the flag in its proper place in the east.
Carry swords.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was beautiful.
Fall out.
Most worshipful sir, the officers of this lodge lately chosen are present and ready to be installed in their respective offices.
You will then present the brother who has been appointed Tyler of this lodge.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother DiMartini, who has been appointed Tyler of this lodge.
Brother DiMartini, you have been appointed Tyler of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel and implement of your office. As the sword is placed in the hands of the Tyler to enable him effectually to guard against the approach of cowans and eavesdroppers, and suffer none to pass or repass, except such as are duly qualified, so should it admonish us to set a guard at our thoughts, a watch at our lips, and post a sentinel over our actions, thereby preventing the approach of every unworthy thought and deed, and preserving consciences void of offense toward God and man. You will now take your proper place. junior stewards.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation worshipful Schlitz and Fisher, who have been appointed senior and junior stewards.
Worshipful brothers Schlitz and Fisher, you've been appointed stewards of this lodge, and I will now instruct you in your duties. In olden times, it was your province to superintend and provide for the craft during the festivals of the craft, to assist in the collection of dues and subscriptions, to keep an account of the expenses for refreshment, and to see that the tables were duly provided and properly supplied for every brother. In modern times, however, the provision for actual refreshment has diminished, and your principal functions will now be to prepare candidates for admission and to perform those duties which Masonic custom has assigned to you on days of procession. Receive the jewels of your office together with the white rods. You will now repair to your respective places. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you'll present the marshal.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Allen, who has been appointed marshal of this lodge.
Brother Allen, you've been appointed marshal of this lodge, and you will now be presented with the jewel and symbol of your office. The baton is an emblem of command and is sufficiently significant of your duties. You will, under the direction of the Master, take charge of all processions of the lodge, and you are enjoined that the proper performance of many of our ceremonies will depend upon the manner in which your duties are discharged. You will now take your proper place. senior and junior deacons.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brothers Marco and Alonso, who have been appointed senior and junior deacons of this lodge. This certificate vouches for the proficiency of the senior deacon.
Brothers Marco and Alonso, you have been appointed deacons of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewels of your office. Those jewels indicate that it is your province to attend upon the master and wardens and act as their proxies in the active duties of this lodge. It will be your special duty, Brother Senior Deacon, to carry orders from the worshipful master in the east to the senior warden in the west and elsewhere about the lodge as required. Attend all alarms at the door of the preparation room, receive and conduct candidates, introduce and accommodate visiting brethren. You, Brother Junior Deacon, to carry messages from the senior warden in the west to the junior in the south and elsewhere about the lodge as directed. Attend to all alarms at the door and see the lodge duly tiled. Those rods, my brothers, distinctive of your office, will now be entrusted to your care. And now, believing from your past deportment in the lodge that your duties will be discharged with ability and zeal, I dismiss you to your respective places. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the Assistant Secretary.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Bland, who has been appointed Assistant Secretary of this lodge.
Brother Bland, you've been appointed Assistant Secretary of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. My brother, that single quill signifies that it is your duty to assist the lodge secretary in the discharge of the important duties of his office. And in his absence, or inability to see them fully executed. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you'll present the chaplet.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Worshipful Brother McCoy, who has been appointed chaplain of this lodge.
Worshipful brother, that holy book which adorns our sacred altar is the great light in masonry, and forever sheds its benignant rays upon every lawful assemblage of free and accepted Masons. Teach us from its light-giving precepts. Invoke upon our labors the blessing of that divine being whose infinite goodness it so fully reveals and unfolds to us. And guide us by its lessons of wisdom and truth, and you will have faithfully fulfilled your important trust. It is your duty to perform those solemn services which we should constantly render to our great Creator and reverently to a Lord of brighter worlds and lead the way. And thus by elevating our thoughts, strengthening our virtues, and purifying our minds, prepare us for admission into the society of the blessed in the realms of life and light eternal. It is thus fitting that the emblem of the sacred volume should be the jewel of your office, and with it you will now be invested. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the Secretary-elect.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Luke, who has been elected secretary of this lodge.
Brother Luke, you've been elected Secretary of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. I am persuaded that in your hands the pens will make an enduring record, not only for your praise, but also the welfare of this lodge. It is your duty to observe the will and pleasure of the worshipful Master, keep a faithful record of all things proper to be written, transmit a copy of the same to the Grand Lodge when required, receive all monies from the brethren, pay the same to the treasurer, and take his receipt therefore. You will now take your proper place.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Sikalides, who has been elected junior warden of this lodge. This proficiency, the certificate, vouches for his proficiency. One more shot.
Two. Brother Sikalides, you have been elected junior warden of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your station. The plum, my brother, admonishes us to walk uprightly in our several stations, to hold the scales of justice in equal poise, to observe the just medium between intemperance and pleasure, and to make our passions and prejudices coincide with the line of our duty. To you is committed the superintendence of the craft during the hours of refreshment. It is necessary, therefore, that you should practice moderation and discretion in the indulgence of your own inclinations, and that you carefully observe that the means of refreshment are not converted to improper or excessive use. Your regular and punctual attendance is particularly requested, and I have no doubt that you will faithfully execute the duty which you owe to your present appointment. Look well to the south. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the senior warden elect.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Cummins, who has been elected senior warden of this lodge. He is of good morals, true and trusty, and possesses the love and confidence of his brethren. This certificate vouches for his proficiency.
For the chaplain, in the absence of our treasurer, I'm wondering if you'd audit that for me. Brother Cummins, you have been elected senior warden of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your station. The level, my brother, admonishes us that we are descended from the same stock, that we partake of the same nature, and share the same hope. And although distinction among men is necessary to preserve subordination, yet no eminence of station should make us forget that we are brethren. For he who is placed on the lowest spoke of fortune may be entitled to our regard, because the time will come, and the wisest know not how soon, when all distinction, save that of goodness, will cease, and death, the mighty leveler of human greatness, will reduce us to the same state. Your regular attendance on our stated meetings is essential. In the absence of the master, you are to govern the lodge. In his presence, you are to assist him in the government of it. I firmly rely on your knowledge of masonry and attachment to the lodge for the faithful discharge of the duties of this important trust. Look well to the west. enjoy a musical rendition by Worshipful McCoy.
Adieu, a heart one fond adieu, dear brothers on the mystic tide, ye favored, ye enlightened few, companions of my social joy. Though I to foreign lands must hie, pursuing fortune's slithery by, with melting heart and brimful eye, I'll mind you still, though far away. Oft have I met your social band, and spent the cheerful festive night, oft honored with supreme command, three-sided o'er the sons of light, and by that hieroglyphic bright, which none but craftsmen ever saw, strong memory on my heart shall write, those happy scenes when far away. May freedom, harmony, and love unite you in the grand design, beneath omniscient eye above, the glorious architect divine, that you may keep the unerring line, still rising by the plummet's law, till order bright completely shine, shall be my prayer when far away. And you farewell, whose merits claim justly that highest badge to wear. Heaven bless you, honored noble name, to Masonry and Scotia dear. A last request permit me here, when yearly ye assemble, when yearly ye assemble, one round I ask it with a tear, to hear the bard that's far away.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Patrick. And on that fine note, it's a beautiful day. I understand there's an exciting football game. What do you say we call this an end? Not so quickly, huh? We're still. Brother Master of Ceremonies. We will now present the brother who has been elected to discharge the important duties of Master of this lodge.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Worshipful Brother Bettencourt, who has been duly elected as master of this lodge.
Is it known that Brother Bettencourt is well skilled in our ancient craft? Is he zealous in his regard for the interests of the order? And is he duly qualified to discharge the special duties of the Master's chair?
It is well known that he is all this, most worshipful sir. This certificate vouching for his proficiency is is evidence that he is well versed in our ancient craft. I find him to be of good morals, true and trusty. And as he is a lover of the fraternity, I doubt not that he will discharge his duties with fidelity and with honor.
Worshipful Sir, the brethren of this lodge, reposing confidence in your integrity, in your zealous regard for the interests of Masonry, and in your ability to discharge the duties of the Master's chair, have chosen you to occupy that honorable position to which the suffrage of your brethren have called you during the ensuing year. Are you willing to accept this important charge?
I am.
Then, my brother, I shall most cheerfully proceed to install you in the dignified and honorable position to which the suffrage of your brethren has called you, not doubting that the dignity of the Oriental chair will be well preserved in your keeping, and that the interest and welfare of this lodge may be safely confided to your charge. Before commencing your investiture, however, it is necessary that you should signify your assent to those ancient charges and regulations which point out the duties of the Master of the Lodge, and which on no account should ever be neglected or departed from. They are as follows. You agree to be a good man and strictly obey the moral law. You agree to be a peaceful citizen and cheerfully to conform to the laws of the country in which you preside. You promise not to be concerned in plots or conspiracies against government, but patiently to submit to the decision of the Supreme Legislature. You agree to pay a proper respect to the civil magistrate, to work diligently, live creditably, and act honorably by all men. You agree to hold in veneration the original rulers and patrons of the Order of Masonry and their regular successors, supreme and subordinate, according to their station, and to submit to the awards and resolutions of your brethren when convened, in every case consistent with the constitutions of the order. You agree to avoid private piques and quarrels, and to guard against intemperance and excess. You agree to be cautious in carriage and behavior, courteous to your brethren, faithful to your lodge. You promise to respect genuine brethren and to discountenance impostors of all dissenters from the original order of Masonry. You agree to promote the general good of society, to cultivate the sacred virtues, and to propagate the knowledge of the art. You promise to pay homage to the Grand Master for the time being, and to his officers when duly installed, and strictly to conform to every edict of the Grand Lodge or General Assembly of Masons that is not subversive to the principles and groundwork of Masonry. You admit that it is not in the power of any man or body of man to make innovations in the body of Masonry. You promise a regular attendance at the committees and communications of the Grand Lodge on receiving proper notice, and to pay attention to all the duties of Masonry on convenient occasions. You admit that no new lodge should be formed without permission of the Grand Lodge, and that no countenance should be given to any irregular lodge or to any person clandestinely initiated therein, being contrary to the ancient charges of the order. You admit that no person can be regularly made a Mason in or admitted a member of any regular lodge without proper notice and due inquiry into his character. You agree that no visitor shall be received into your lodge without examination and producing proper vouchers of their being initiated in a regular lodge. These are among the ancient charges and regulations of free and accepted Masons. And to these your assent must be freely given. Do you submit to these charges and promise to support these regulations, as masters have done in all ages before you? I do. Then, my brother, in consequence of this assurance, and with full confidence in your capacity and zeal, I will now install you Master of King David's Lodge, number 209. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you invested with this jewel. The square, my brother, is an emblem of morality, and as it is the especial badge of the Master's office, it should constantly remind you that not only by precept, but by example, you should promote good morals among the brethren, and thus endeavor to avert the shadow of any scandal or reproach against the fraternity. Your former life has given evidence that this jewel will not be an unmeaning symbol in your hands, and I solemnly charge you to take good care that its luster not be diminished by any act of yours. I now present to you the Book of Holy Writings. It is the great light of masonry, and should ever be the great law of the brotherhood. It will guide you to all truth. It will direct you to eternal happiness, and an attentive regard to the divine precepts it contains will assure you success in the fulfillment of the duties you are now about to assume. The working tools of the craft will next be presented to you, that as the master workman, you may instruct the craftsmen in the various duties and virtues which they have been selected to illustrate. This square teaches us well to regulate our every action and to let our conduct be governed by the principles of morality and virtue. The compasses teach us to limit our desires in every station and never suffer our passions or our prejudices become the master of our judgment. The rule directs the undeviating discharge of all our duties, that we should press forward in the straight path of right and truth, without inclining to the one hand or the other, in all our doings having eternity in view. The plum is an emblem of moral rectitude. It teaches us to avoid all dissimulation and to pursue that honest and upright conduct in life which will tend to our elevation to the higher realms of immortality. There are still other important things which you will receive in charge. This book of constitutions you are diligently to search, and from time to time cause its contents to be read in your lodge, that none will remain ignorant of the precepts and enjoins, or of the ordinances which it promulgates. This book contains the bylaws of your lodge, which it will be your special duty to see carefully and punctually executed. And this is the charter, under the authority of which your lodge is held, and which you are carefully preserved and duly transmit to your successor in the master's chair. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will conduct the master to his station in the east. seat. The duties incumbent upon you in this exalted station are fraught with grave responsibilities. Remember that the honor, reputation, and usefulness of your lodge will materially depend upon the skill and assiduity with which you manage its concerns, and that the happiness of its members will be generally promoted in proportion to the watchful care with which you cherish the genuine principles of the institution. For a pattern of imitation, consider the great luminary of nature, which rising in the east regularly diffuses light and luster all within its circle. In like manner, it is your province to spread and communicate light and instruction to the brethren of your lodge. Forcibly impress upon them the dignity and high importance of masonry, and seriously admonish them never to disgrace it. Charge them to practice out of the lodge those duties which they have been taught in it, and by amiable, discreet, and virtuous conduct to convince mankind of the goodness of this institution, so that when a person is said to be a member of it, the world may know that he is one to whom the burdened heart may pour out its sorrows, one to whom distress may prefer its suit, one whose hand is guided by justice, and whose heart is expanded by benevolence. In short, by a diligent observance of the bylaws of your lodge, the constitutions of masonry, and above all, the holy scriptures which are given as the rule and guide of your faith, you will be enabled to acquit yourself with the highest honors here, and to lay up a crown of rejoicing, which shall continue when time shall be no more. Brothers Senior and Junior Warden, you are too well acquainted with the principles of masonry to warrant any distrust that you will be found wanting in the discharge of your respective duties. Suffice it to say that what in others you have seen praiseworthy, you should yourselves imitate, and what in them may have appeared defective, you should yourselves avoid. You should be examples of discretion and propriety, for it is only by a due regard for our law and regulations, as shown by your conduct, that you can expect obedience to them from others. You are assiduously to assist the master in the discharge of his duties, diffusing light and imparting knowledge to all whom he shall place under your care. In the absence of the master, you will succeed to higher duties. Your requirements must be, therefore, as such as will ensure proper instruction to the craft. From the spirit which you have hitherto evinced, I entertain no doubt that your future conduct will be such as will merit the applause of your brethren and the testimony of a good conscience. This is for the brethren of King David's Lodge number 209. Please rise. My brethren, such is the nature of our Constitution, that as some must of necessity rule and teach, so must others, of course, learn to submit and obey. Humility in both is an essential duty. The officers which have been chosen to govern your lodge are sufficiently conversant with the rules of propriety and the laws of the institution to avoid exceeding the power with which they are entrusted. And you are of too generous disposition to envy their preferment. I therefore trust that you will have but one aim, to please one another and unite in the grand design of promoting happiness. Finally, my brethren, as this association has been formed and perfected in so much unanimity and concord, so may it long continue. May you long enjoy every satisfaction and delight which friendship can afford. May kindness and brotherly affection distinguish your conduct as men and as masons. Within your peaceful walls, May your children's children celebrate with joy and gratitude the annual recurrence of this auspicious solemnity. And may the tenets of our profession be transmitted through this lodge, pure and unimpaired, from generation to generation. You may be seated. Merciful Master, it now remains for me to present to you the gavel, the emblem of power. In the hands of the Master, it may be made an instrument of great good or of greater evil. With it, the Master governs his lodge, and the welfare and prosperity of your lodge, in great measure, will depend upon its judicious use. In your hands, I am confident it will be wielded for the best interests of your brethren. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will make a proclamation.
By order of the most worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the state of California, I now declare the officers of King David's Lodge number 209 to be duly installed.
All the brethren will, under the direction of the Master of Ceremonies, salute the worshipful Master by the battery of 3 times 3.
Together, brethren.
Worshipful Master, behold your brethren. Brethren, behold your worshipful Master.
Brethren and friends, thank you sincerely for being here today. It is customary to handle a few aspects that I've seen done a couple of times in the past, and so I'd like to hopefully improve on that. I don't know whether my brother Greg Tyler has had a chance to take care of the duty up front.
Just did it.
And then there are the intake sheets that are at the front door on those little clipboards. If you could collect those and bring them up to me, that'd be very helpful. Thank you very much for that. It is customary towards the beginning of these remarks, and I do not intend to go on over long because I am very well aware of the football game that's in progress. I haven't been able, because I've been sitting in front of you, to check the score, but I'm sure some of you have had a chance to do that. In any event, it is fitting and proper to introduce and thank those people that have made today possible, and it's my honor to thank the installing team, and I'm thrilled to know that all of them are actually members of this lodge. And so your installing chaplain was Worshipful David Chesborough, your installing MC, Worshipful Christian Morano, and of course the past Grand Master of Masons for the state of California, and a member of this lodge, Most Worshipful Russ Charboni. So I'm very grateful for the 3 of you, and I'm also grateful for Jeanette Langer of Eastern Star for her piano service. So thank you sincerely to all of you. Greg also appreciates your applause as he brings me these documents. They're very important. Not everybody that's an officer here today, I think, has family present, but if you do, I want to give you the opportunity to recognize them, friends or family that are here with you today that of the newly installed officers. But if you don't, just remain seated. But for those of you, my just brand new installed officers from just now, that have family present that you'd like to introduce, then please stand so I can go around the room with you. So, okay, Brother Tyler, then who is your family? Please tell us.
Brother Gregory Martini, King David Sludge 209. My parents Elena and Joseph are here today. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Thank you. Brother Senior Ward.
Worship Master, thank you and congratulations. I'd like to have you first meet my wife, Melissa, who is here with us at perhaps your very first Masonic event ever. Also, some friends of ours, both longtime San Luis Obispo residents and career public servants, Chris and Ansley. If you please stand.
My wife, Brianna, I think they left with my son, Ramses, and my mother, Victoria.
My son Kai and his wife Delta and our granddaughter Ilani Bear.
I have my wife Hannah and that's it. She's the light of my life. Let's do this.
Brother Don.
I would like to introduce to everybody my wife and my partner in life who made sure I could dress myself properly today in the kilt. And that would be none other than Sharon Allen.
All right, Brother Junior Stewart, Aaron Fisher.
I would like to introduce my lady, Catherine Marshall. She's also my co-author of academic articles and co-author of 2 children.
All right, everybody can sit down. Brother Angelos, go ahead and introduce you.
Thank you. My wife and companion in life, Alexandra, also the co-author of some articles. She's now occupied with our youngest daughter, Zoe, but I do have my older daughter, Eleni, here.
All right, well, everybody stole my thunder, but I do honor my beautiful wife. We met and fell in love as our second relationships of life. Just as I was becoming the master of the lodge back in 2016, that was the last time, 7 years ago for me. And so I'm pleased to have her here with me at this time. And it's customary for us to present some bouquets to the officers' wives that are pedestal officers, our senior warden, our junior warden, my wife as well, and as well as the outgoing past master. I think that's your wife.
She's still here.
She's not here. I mean,
She's still here.
she's here. So we have a bouquet for her. Just don't let her leave without it. But and then what I intend to do, if I may, start this way. My beautiful wife, Adrienne. There you go. Is this the one you want? And so, look at you coming right into the flowers. Yes, exactly. So thank you for letting your husband serve with us this year. And Melissa, this way. Okay, here you go, young lady. All right, thank you. It is a pleasure to come to the lodge and perform our ceremonies and rituals. And we know that we have the support of our families. And so it's so important that all of you are here today. I'd like to knock out the introductions as quickly as possible. And right now I'm going to respond to the masters or past masters of lodges other than King David's. If you'll stand, and I can identify from those those of you that have already signed in, but if you did sign in, or even if you didn't, hear your name, then I've covered you. But please do. Patrick McCoy is a past master of another lodge, Ron Ritter, Larry Olson, Dan Bolton, I recognize, and Rod Smiley, Franz Wagner, and Ian Plested. Dennis Williams, that's what I was having a hard time reading that. So I think I've covered everybody. I'm seeing everybody I recognize here. Yes, yes, yes. Did I miss anybody? All right, thank you, sirs. I appreciate it. It is a beautiful thing when we have officers or presiding officers of important or appendant bodies of masonry. And so currently, if these men will stand, Angelo Sikalides, the High Priest of Royal Arch Chapter number 62, Patrick McCoy, York Rite Cryptic Masons, Illustrious Master Peter Champion, Grand Cryptic Illustrious Master of Masons for the state of California, and Bob Sachs here with the Scottish Rite, who is the orator and past Venerable Master. Have I gotten everybody? And Eric Fisher, there you go, sir. Please self-identify. You're just newly installed.
I'm the eminent commander of San Luis Obispo Commandery number 27 of the Knights Templar.
Very good. Thank you. All right, I'd like to recognize you. Right there. It's good to know you're backing me up there, Most Worshipful. I see that. If you are a member or have been a member of the Grand Lodge, Christian Morano and Peter Champion are here as those designees. Christian rather is a Grand Standard bearer, currently in this year's Masonic Grand Master's family. And Peter Champion, what would you say that was?
Grand person.
Grand person, that's a word I don't read very often. So yes, and David Chester, sir. Recognize your press.
Yes, I'm a former Grand Standard bearer. Christian is the Grand Standard bearer.
All right. Those who are members of our youth orders, so please rise. And these are some of our young men and a range of girls, mother advisors. So let me have Damien and Sebastian Morano stand, as well as Jake Lambert and Victoria Law, another advisor for the Rainbow for Girls. There she is. All right, please recognize these ladies. I know we have a number of Hiram Award recipients. I'm pleased enough to have been a recipient. If you're a recipient of the Hiram Award, please stand. Those individuals would include Christian Morano, Peter Champion, Ron Ritter, Rod Smiley, Franz Wagner, Dave Chesborough, Most Worshipful Rush Harmonia. Did I cover everyone? Ron Smiley, yeah, see you. Okay, we're good. Thank you. And lastly, it is one of the mandatory requirements of this portion, and that is to recognize those individuals who served this lodge as a past master. And so all of the men who have served King Davis Lodge as a master in the past would please rise. I know Peter Champion is moving out a bit there. And those men would include Patrick McCoy, who just served just this last year, Dave Chesborough. If you remember your years of service, you're welcome to tell us.
Can you remember yours?
I'm still thinking it through.
1995, 2003, 2004, and 2006.
Fantastic. Glenn Parker.
2019.
Greg Schlitz.
2022.
Eric Fisher.
2017.
Ron Ritter.
09 and 10.
And I thank you for that. That second year was really important to me. I needed an extra year to get ready for my year. So yes, thank you sincerely to you for that especially. Peter Champion.
2013.
And Bob Sachs.
2018.
And Christian Morrow.
2015.
All right, honor these. Mine was 2010, 12, and 16 before this time. And I think the the comments I wanted to briefly say is that I love what Patrick McCoy did in terms of honoring the Masonic family. I love the same thing. We've got Eastern Star represented here. We're going to have a nice family picnic with Eastern Star in July. More details will come in the future. We love that the Rainbow for Girls and the DMLA in particular has been awesome here. And this lodge is going to support both of those groups financially and with personal time with advisors and so forth. The last thing I want to do before anyone else that might have a presentation is it's customary at this time to recognize the outgoing master with a beautiful certificate that honors his service to King Davis Lodge. So I want to do that because I know it's close. At least here we go. Not this big Doric column, by the way. It's hard to see things sometimes. But Worshipful Patrick, as most worshipful, have honored you at the beginning of the ceremony that you did a really nice job this year. And it was a fun year to serve under your leadership. So please accept this beautiful certificate that is not only suitable for Kremlin, but has been Kremlin. Just a minute. So I appreciate your service. All right, I know everybody is about clapped out here, but I do want to see, is there any other presentation, any other thing I have to attend to? Very good. So I'll point out that we have our piper in the house, and he's going to give us a couple of numbers as the officers in a moment are going to retire to the entrance room to the dining room. We have a very nice, what I will call heavy hors d'oeuvres for the middle of the afternoon. We have some champagne, we have some wine, we have some Perriers and non-alcoholic drinks of that stripe. Martinelli's, right, for those that would like to enjoy. And there are tables that are set more for people that maybe are with small families or more elderly and don't wish to stand, but we've also got several high tops that are essentially what I would call a standing buffet. And these are just heavy items, little pieces of pizza and things of that nature that you could enjoy with us. But we've already done the flag salute, we've already done the invocation, and that we're going to do a brief one, I suppose, at the end here to a benediction. So once you get into that dining room, just have at it, okay? Go straight up there and eat. I think that is everything that I have at this point. So at this point, I would like to turn it back over to our installed chaplain for a benediction, and if everyone would please rise in that same attitude.
May the blessing of heaven rest upon the officers who are installed here today, upon all the members of King Davis Lodge, that they may lead and serve the community in which we exist. May upon all the family and friends that have come here today to support this entire lodge, we bless you all. May brotherly love prevail, and every moral and social virtue unite us. Amen.
So it be.
All right, thank you. So pipe major, please, and officers retire.